Alrighty, guys. Um, let me hold on. I really hate my mouse right now. Now, but as we are kind of getting ourselves live, um, kind of slowly setting things up, um, did you know what? I'm going to utilize, um, um, anyway, I utilize the Twitch and YouTube stuff. Um, gotta manage a few things, but I will tell you this, if you guys are watching right away, um, anyway, no, wrong studio. I am trying to, I thought I had, I hate my, I hate my, I hate my thing sometimes, but anyways, guys, just to be a little bit of what's going on today, um, a lot of what I am going to be showing you guys today is primarily going to focus heavily in Japan, for a lot of what is needing is what we are typically doing for today. Um, Now, of course, before we do, I need to click on I understand. Because I was using, cause, I have my external drive here that I use. That's the only one there that's going to be the highest. We could also go to Inibara. Um, Now that's going to be offer expires in 3 hours. That offer expires in 18. We'll set you down for it. Um, but what I have for a lot of things going on for today, we actually have some good, exciting news for a lot of people. Um, for a lot of you. Um, I am going to tell you, that right now, I am going to tell you that it is freaking 85 degrees outside today. And my not my best friend, but a friend of mine that you guys know, Glass, he's basically 65 degrees today. This is ridiculous. Like, so, anyway, we have a lot of things that I'm going to do today. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, talk to you guys about the valve improvement. A big improvement that actually will help for a lot of people who happen to be utilizing older hardware, specifically can we set this to 32? Because I need to make sure that I'm going around these corners just fine. Um, and stuff. But, um, within yesterday, within actually the last little bit, um, there's been a lot of instances where, um, and then there's some scary things going on right now, um, with the issue of Trump basically utilizing the these nuclear codes, and to be honest, we'll get into that as well, and get into a lot of other things that are not even just listed here. Um, that I'm probably not gonna tell you everything, but those are the two major ones. But we also have another good major thing going on. Um, the one that it's actually really nice to see is that Virginia won its redistricting rule. Basically, Trump is now probably going to be angry, frustrated that that happened, um, and and it's really going to be setting up. But um, and it's like the redistricting was done by the vote, by the people's vote. Okay, the people voted on it, and I think the people should be willing to vote on their redistricting if they live in that state, rather than um, them just coming up with a map. Like I come up with the map, and then people have to vote and agree upon it from within the previous map. Um, and things like that. And I think that's a great idea. It doesn't matter if it's that would just to me would be a lot better. Did not realize that I was speeding there, but um, there's a lot of these other things that are really going to pertain to um, things that are going to necessarily going to make things not be um, so great right now with for LGBTQ people. Um, Now, of course, we had the Supreme Court um, that is really good for Supreme Court not taking up a gender identity case in Massachusetts on it, um, and the for basically, it's letting it stand to protecting the identity of trans people who might not feel safely guarded um, in that regard, safety, um, and allowing for kids to have safer ability to come out to, teachers without parental consent, basically. Um, and without parents knowing, and it's a good thing. Of course, it's also not a good thing either for both sides. I can tell you that, but it doesn't. It's not something that I'm going to say that it's a bad thing. For a lot of these things, it's nothing that a lot of people will look at me and be like, but you know, it's like parents need to have that knowledge and have that right. But if a child's not quite ready to come out to the parent yet, but they have, because sometimes parents aren't always trustworthy. Sometimes there's a lot of things where these kids might be this way, but their parents do not agree with it, or because of other reasons. Um, you know, there's also this other one that is also relatively safer for that to basically allowing for that, and I'm like, yes, I am for parental rights and things, but I'm also in the camp of that parents should be able to have the right to do what they need to do for any child, but a child shouldn't be forced to, not because not every parent is going to be a great parent. Not every parent's going to the be the best parent ever. Um, and there is. I'm not gonna rest here. I'm just gonna take this. We'll let you go by. I just wanted to travel that portion. Wait a minute. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, there was a spot back there, but it's okay. I'm not gonna worry too much. So yeah, it's one of those things that but so it's a great thing to see with that, and trust me, I do support parental rights. The parental rights should be basically where the parent is there, but also sometimes, um, at least like as long as that child, like I would put into some things where, yeah, coming out socially, just to kind of, understand themselves a little bit, or coming out to a teacher. Yes, I think that should be a okay, but at the same time, I also think that what should really be done is making sure that arg, that I am somebody that's willing to make sure that it might be the other one because we have two down here. So um nope. Okay, so we got this one. I could take this one. Um, but they both. This one ends 20 hour trip time. Um, and it ends Tuesday. Um, I didn't think I'd have enough time to grab this one. But we have enough time to grab it. So I'm trying to grab the expensive stuff right now while we get our stuff set up for more people for our company to grow, because right now we're kind of somewhat growing a little bit. We have one person. We have one person for it. Um, but before I do anything, guys, give me quite a second. I need to check the temperature in my room. It's almost 80 freaking degrees. Hold on. Ugh. Hold on. I'm gonna open up my window a little bit. I know it's 85 out there, but I don't. We can just add that and add some breezier air in here, I guess. Um, but one of the things that I will tell you that is necessarily when we and of course it's gonna have me go this way, um, which is looks like it's gonna end up over here. Um, but I don't, and I know that we can go to Kanazawa from here. So I think what we'll do is we'll look at actually going towards the right this way instead of going for um, the the way that it wants me to. Because to be honest, um, we can go to Kanazawa. It's 25-hour trip time. Um, we could also go to Kobe for 8-hour trip time, and Osaka, Nagata, Nanako. Because getting here to Kobe is a 5-hour trip time. Now, we know that it's 5-hour trip time. It's gonna have us go that way for our trip. Um, Let me hit X to delete that pin. Um, we have 20 hours. We need to get here by 12. Is our time. Um, Let me check. Um, we have 30 hours on this. We have 30 hours on this trip service. Um, Now, what I want to do is we know that traveling to there is 17 hours. Okay? So 17 hours for it. But then we know that if it's 17, that's only going to be about 3 extra hours to get there. We can take the Kanazawa. We can go up to Kanazawa, which is going to be cutting it close. But we'll be spending a little bit to get there. But it's going to be 25 hours on it. And we got a 5-hour thing And we've got 2 hours to go. So I'm like, sometimes, sometimes it's always best to, when you're driving here, it's always best to look at where the ships are going. Pay attention to that as well to see what is going to be your best option. Like, yeah, you might be able to save yourself some time, but then you can travel 25 hours and get a 10 hour, get your 10 hour, get your rest in for that, um, which is a good idea. But there is a few things else, that, but we also have some sad news with the LGBTQ news, as well. The Supreme Court is taking up another case with LGBTQ in that same day that they disregarded one thing. They're now taking up into another case. Let's hope that they side with protecting LGBTQ in this case. I don't remember exactly the case name. That's why I am there. But I'm also going to tell you that um, that sometimes when you read headlines too, one of the things um, that is being done is that there is a thing with the LGBTQ. One of the things where the Advocate basically did a headline where they had created a headline that thought that, oh, this child was trans and this child was this or that, and the headline misconstrued that it's a child custody case with trans involvement in it, but it's nothing has to do with related to that child's gender. Yeah, the child might be going to get gender affirming care and things, but having to come back to Utah. Yeah, we don't know the whole entire story, but you can go and read the headline. The headline will tell you one thing, but the headline will tell you to kind of grab your attention and lie to you and kind of like grab your attention, but then you may never go in and read the entire story, never read what they tell you. That's why when I look at headlines, I go and read the article a little bit before I make that final decision on a lot of things. But there is a lot of things that when it comes to sensationally they go in and make it headlines and make it these things. But one of the things that really did that does irk me a lot of times is when um is when we have issues, um when they go and find the data, they find this information. Utah did this, where you find the information, they find it to be what they don't want, um, and they still end up creating a law to ban people from the healthcare anyway, and that's not good and that's not right. But see, that's the whole thing. Is like a lot of times they will, like, you want to hear what you only want to hear, um, and that's all you do. You don't want to look at the other side. You don't want to see what's there in front of you. Of course, I look at both sides. I don't just I read articles from left and right. I watch left-leaning media, but I read articles from both sides. Um, and mostly trustworthy articles, most trustworthy article places where people are posting, like New York Times and things like that, where I will read things like that. But within a lot of these points and these places is that you go out and you read something as a headline. It's not what people do. You know, I sat there today, was reading a thing on Governor Tim Walz on him passing bipartisan legislation, working all across the aisle, and people were still nagging on him about him having this issue with fraud and whatever. And it's like yeah, get over it, people. The fraud was going on and going on when in a lot of places. I was looking at a blight post. Oh, screwball. But yeah, can't believe I'd make that mistake. And realizing that I have to turn up another lane, it's one of those things that I don't quite always pay attention. Um, okay, you know what? I can go because, to be honest, I had, yeah, I would have gotten whatever. Um, so yeah, it's like you don't just go and look at a headline and believe that the headline is what it's there. A lot of times they do it to try to grab your attention and to maybe go and see what the article's about. But some people don't do that. Some people will just look at the headline and believe the headline, and that's all they believe. That's why I don't go and read a headline or believe these things. And a lot of sensational bullcrap that goes on with all of these headline stuff that they basically are trying to do it. Now, of course, they're clickbaity titles, they're clickbaity things that are out there. It's not just news articles, YouTube. People do that. I don't try to be clickbaity. I try to actually do what I'm going to talk about, what I'm trying to do, or what I'm doing. There may be some clickbaity kind of stuff in it, but I still try to make sure that the titles and the things, and it goes even with Twitch too. Um, it goes even with Twitch where I do the same thing. I make sure that um, the people get the understanding of what is there and what's going on, and things like that. And I'll tell you, um, a lot of things that really do pertain um, to the information that I'm putting out there. Today I wanted to really come in and really get into talking about a lot of some LGBTQ stuff, like and that's what I do. I I chat, I talk about a lot of things in relation to other things. You know, it's like you should know that one of the things is that you still show love and you care for LGBTQ people. You share and you show love to people that are part of the community and things like that. Now, of course, we have a loan investment, but of that much, right? But right now, we are going to be behind, but we're basically um, you know, let me go to email. Do I still have? Fired you. I didn't fire him more or less. I let him go because I didn't have a working vehicle. Um, and right now, so I have to really work on that vehicle a little bit. Get it somewhat um roadworthy again. So we'll work on that and get maybe a second driver. Um, but right now I just we'll go in. We'll do some minor fixing on that vehicle. Um, and we'll just like replace some parts and things as we go along. Um, because I always like to utilize um, you know, I always like to look at minor trucks and minor things and fixing things. I could sell the vehicle off for for it, but we have to be paid. We have to. I want to try to see if I can keep that vehicle. We might be able to. Hold on. Let me go. Um, let me go to services. Let me go to used trucks. Hold on. I know I need to look at some stuff, but like a truck that's roadworthy is right there. We have a roadworthy truck right here. This Volvo FH4 Sleeper is roadworthy. Um, right there. So if I wanted to, I could get another driver. But that's the most expensive right there. Is that Scania R? Um, for it. But we have to make sure that we look at right-hand drive, not left-hand, because we have to make sure of that. We're driving that way and not driving um, with yeah. So if we were to um, sell this for that price, okay, and then we go over to used trucks. We have a left-hand drive truck available to us there, but we also have this. We also have a right-hand truck that is also a little bit cheaper and much more available for us to drive. Um, this Iveco Stralis is it's there, but it's 6.5 is what we have, and that's pretty much basically um there, and that's gonna put us up on our um that's gonna give us back our money, but we can um do it for that. So anyway, but there is some good things for those of you this isn't part of the title, but we've got news on Fortnite. Now, of course, probably most of you probably have already seen the Fortnite stuff and probably been around if you've been playing Fortnite for quite some time. But for some of you who might be still kind of back in the in the behind things, because some people aren't out there playing Fortnite, some people aren't out there playing that because that game's just not uninviting or anything like that. But the news is absolutely wonderful for Fortnite. Fortnite has basically brought in full band support now. We now have entirely able to play everything with every plastic guitar. With a plastic guitar, play with a for guitar and bass. We have the ability to play with vocals and drums fully in Fortnite now as we speak, which means uh, you can now have the ability to play with your friends. If you have a guitar from like your Wii guitar, you might not be able to play it. But if you have like a PS3 or even a PS4 guitar lying around, you might as well see if that works and see if you can run it with on your PlayStation 5. Um, or you can see if you might have an Xbox guitar lying around somewhere, and you might be able to play it with on Xbox. So, and if you have a microphone, if you have like a microphone that's been like from, um, I have a microphone dedicated for guitar here for like my old PS2 days when I still have it today, but when I don't play a lot of I don't sing, but I have it just because of something I wanted to, but I was just like, nah. But I still have it. Any microphone will work with it. Any microphone that's able to be connected to your PC, any microphone that's able to be connected to your PlayStation 5, your Xbox, will be able to run with it as long as it's able to with those things. Um, the only other thing is you won't. I don't think you'll be able to play with the plastic stuff via uh, cloud cloud gaming through it. So I wouldn't recommend it um, at all. But that's a good sign. That's actually a very good thing because right now a lot of um, things that I myself have loved every single Rock Band, every single Guitar Hero game for what it's worth, except for a couple of Guitar Hero titles. Um, and that's been pretty much about it. Like I have loved every single Rock Band title out there. It's including the AC/DC one, um, and the Green Day. Whoops, I don't need to. That lane's just ending up here, so I thought I was like, okay, I can just go that way, but nope. So um, I've pretty much the only ones I have not played specifically are the extra track packs available for the PS3, or the extra track packs that were available for later generations, not the PS2. I have played Rock Band 3. I own Rock Band 3 on my Wii. I pretty much own every Rock Band title for PS2 slash Wii, through both of those generations, that I'm able to do so. Rock Band Guitar Hero, I do not. I do not own every Guitar Hero game. I do not own every um, one of those because of I'm missing Van Halen and I am missing the Warriors of Rock. But to be honest, um, Warriors of Rock is the only Guitar Hero game that I do not like as a thing. It's not like I'm not against the songs that are in the game. I just didn't like it as a homage to older Guitar Hero games that actually were better. Um, you know, but um, but within Fortnite, they're basically allowing me to do that, and that's fantastic. I am in love with Fortnite right now. bringing back the rhythm games. With rhythm game gaming, it is absolutely one of the best things in my entire history of going through um, and playing through it. And to be honest, I remember the back all the way back playing Guitar Hero 1. Um, I thought was good at it. I played it before. I played it on those demo things through at like those Walmart or whatever stores back in the day, and thought I was good at it at the time. Not nope. But I learned, and I started out with the Guitar Hero 2 and 3 back on the PS2, and ever since then I'm a casual player. I am not somebody that plays on a daily on like a basis where I'm learning to try to get better. I'm just there just to play and have fun. Um, and today I pretty much basically played pretty much PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. Not PS4. I've played pretty much basically PS1, PS2 day, PS2, and I have played not PS1. PS1 didn't have Guitar Hero. PS2, and I've played the Wii versions of these games. Um, to be more precise, and I have played the Xbox 360 version of a Rock Band title, but the drums, I have not played anything outside of the guitar itself. I have not played that. I have played many various different versions of the game. Um, Different versions outside of these are fan serviced projects that have been out there for it. Um, I have played Rock Band, not the Rock Band, but a game similar to it, called Threats on Fire. Um, I have played that a little bit. Um, I basically um, that's going. Thank you. Fudge. See, I miss my like because they're so close together on the thing, but I have to make sure I'm going the right way. But there has been I played um Guitar Flash, Guitar Flash. I've played um that was actually the first fan service game I played after the fact of just finding it on the internet when back in 2012, 2013 through Facebook. To be honest, when I actually joined Facebook, I actually used it as just for that purpose like social media. I was not really into Facebook. I have back then but today but then I after that I basically Fats on Fire plus or whatever that thing is. I don't remember Phase Shift, and then after Phase Shift I pretty much basically went and did Clone Hero right afterwards. That's where I played a lot of my stuff. And then after that, I've basically did the one that I really like the most is how can I put it this way? Um, that I loved is the attention to detail, not attention to detail, but it's exclusively a title for what you call it. It's a thing that's on Steam right now, and I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Um, but it's there. It's one of those games that I love to play. Um, through it, Yarg is another one. Yet another rhythm game. Um, and I have played many different versions of it to that point. Um, and that's it. I haven't and I haven't played any other fan serviced games out there. I have played um, Rock Band, Guitar Hero through the PS2. I played every availability, and to be honest, for a lot of you, the PS2 has every Guitar Hero game. From one, there's almost every Guitar Hero game available, except for the Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. Um, is the only title that did not get put out on the PS2. It was the only other Guitar Hero game that with 5 frets. Guitar Hero GHTV or Guitar Hero Live. I did not enjoy that. From what I'm seeing, I'm like, I. It's like no, I'm not. I'm not into that kind of style of gameplay. Um, I like the 5 frets more than I like the 6 frets. And things like that because it's kind of like yeah, maybe if they offered a instead of 6 frets they could have gone with a 5 fret um, guitar like thing, but then make it a 10 fret guitar. To be honest, they could have done something like that. That's even more extreme, to be honest. But the 5 frets are pretty much basically my favorite kind of thing within all of this. But there's a few other things, guys, that also um, that I have enjoyed for a lot with it. But there is a few other games out there that I have not touched. Rocksmith. I have not touched. I have not touched Rocksmith. I have not touched the not only Rocksmith, but I have not touched the um, Rock Revolution, not the DS version, but the other version. And I have not touched the Guitar Hero for DS. I'm just talking primarily. I've played everything on the PS2 and um, Wii games, um, for it. So don't come crying at me. Except for outside of I've played every Rock Band title, um, including Rock Band 4. I actually don't mind Rock Band 4 to be honest. Um, so for a lot of these games, they're wonderful, great things that I love, and that's actually kind of rhythm games are actually kind of my. I was already out in the middle of the lane, so I'm gonna keep going. There's nobody there. I'm gonna just go. But um, so there's a lot of things that that I do enjoy. Uh, where I don't care about that. I'm just here um to get now we're at 2.6 million, and 2.6 million is absolutely what I want and what we need. Um, Now what I need to do is before I do hire anybody, let me go to use to company. Let me go to truck manager. This Iveco S-Way. Um, I'm going. Yes. We're gonna drive this truck. Um, specifically. Okay. Um, I thought I could go out that way. So how do I get out of here then? Because this seems healthy to me. Like, as long as this vehicle does not falter or... Oh. Actually, we kind of... It's kind of like only a one-way thing. Um... Yeah. I have to realize... I have to remember sometimes. I haven't been down in Tokyo for a while. But that's going to be my main truck, but I'm going to see if I can get this one repaired enough to see what needs to be repaired. And that's where I'm headed. Headed is to visit this dealership or this place to repair this vehicle. To see what need to be serviced. Um, that I can service, nothing damage wise. Um, okay, so the wheels can be serviced right away. Um, Nothing there is going to be able to really, but we can do the wheels if we wanted to. But I think I can go to service. Um, I think what I can do right now is just immediately upgrade the engine. Immediately upgrade the engine to do that. And then we can go to truck service. Okay. And just upgrading the engine replaces our parts there. The transmission is 16%. That's going to cost us to replace. That's not going to help us in any way, shape, or form. In replacing, so the engine's up and upgraded. The tires could be replaced. Here. Those are the only two things that are not going to basically be able. So we can the transmission only is just a little bit more on that. We don't have enough money, but we can hopefully just change the paint. We're going to use my paint job here, because this is where I'm going to start picking up the Iveco for now. For it, but I've been going with the Hatsune Miku ones. But that is, I think we'll just confirm that. Okay. Now if we go to services, that's still going to require 28% on that. But we do have that. The transmission is only going to cost us $1,750 to replace the transmission. I think what we'll do is we'll confirm and replace the wheels. We still have a 16% transmission, 28 and 28. This vehicle, I don't know how drivable it is. How drivable it is. But I think we might be able to drive this vehicle. Because this is... We can drive this vehicle, I feel. Like, if like, I would not want to take any of those. Kawasaki. Uh, where's that going? That's that way. Dayaku. Dayaku is not even on here. Um, um, Shikoku. I want to see if we have anything. That's brake fluid. That's just going directly to Kobe. Over it. But let's check to see what we got over here. That's Takayama. That's the highest rated for all of it, but that ends in about 20 hours. The highest one here is the Krone Profliner building. That's for quick jobs, though. Are you kidding me? That's quick job. That's a quick job. Done. Dumb me. Let's see. Apples. So we got this Croftliner up there. That's building. We got oranges through that one the most. So basically, I don't want to take um anything other than maybe this thing here. Um I don't want to take any. That would be beverages, but why would that be in that kind of a truck? Unless it's like syrup, I'm taking syrup up there. Um, but which one is going to? Um, let's do this. Let me go. I want to actually change the price. Forklifts. The Krone Profliner is going to be the one that's going to be the next best. So we'll set that GPS. We're going to drive this one myself. Um, for now. Um, but before I do, I'm gonna change up a couple. Um, let me go to truck configurator. Um, I'm gonna do some things. Within it. I want to change to the three spoke barrel, three spoke. But I need to find. No, why? I want to find the Iveco. Okay. And then I want to put Project Japan. I want to put Project Japan down there. And then over here, I'm going to throw the trans flag down here. And I'm just going to confirm that for now. Um, anyway, the last thing I do wanted to share, because I know I need to get off, um, 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 no, of course this vehicle's going to have some problems. Um, but I think we can slowly upgrade this. Um, slowly upgrade. I am going to tell you, let's go to services. Let's go to company. Let's go to truck manager. We have this Mercedes. Um, this DAF truck here. We're going to. Um, I could sell it and replace the parts on this one, but I'm going to change the way that we're going to upgrade you. Um, then we're going to come down here. We're going to take you off on these things. We're going to pretty much take off the flags. The wheel, I'm going to keep this, just keep it there, typical. Clear you out. I'll leave the Project Japan pillow in there. Yeah, we'll just leave the... Yeah, we'll just leave it there. Dropping some of our price off on that. Just to save us some money. Then let's go over to company. Driver manager. Actually, no, let's go over to recruitment. H. Turk H is the only one that that actually has a higher, that has a bit of better chance. Rebecca F has that other one though, but you're going to be hired because you have higher capabilities. So I'll tell you, I can put you there on that vehicle. On that, and this truck does have are we going downward? Yep, we're going downward to the other side of this. So yeah, we're gonna have a busted vehicle for a little while. It if we actually really wanted to really put it in, if we go into our truck, the thing is we need to at least be able to get that transmission fixed on this. But I'm gonna drive over to this other portion for today. Just getting over to that. But I'll tell you this: if you guys are interested in me in this project, you guys can check out Project Japan. It's ETS2. If you type in ETS2 Project Japan in Google, it should be like the first link there. If not, it's linked down in the description. And it's also linked in the Twitch description as well, in the panels. So you guys can always get that there. But there is some real risk involved right now. That is being exacerbated right now with not exacerbated. I don't know. I don't know if it's the right word to use or whatnot, but there's a problem. There's a thing that's not right. That we have is where Donald Trump has been threatening to use nukes in Iran. And apparently, I haven't watched the video yet, because this is like breaking kind of thing, where Trump wants to use nukes on Iran. Wait, but that's like trip times a lot. Like that's giving me more, and that trip times 28. This trip time is 20. How? Why is that trip time 28 hours, where this trip time's 25. You know what? We're here. We'll take this. I don't care. I wasn't initially going to take this thing, but I think I will. Um, I think I will take it for our next trip. Um, so, am I going the right way? No, I need to go the other way. Yeah, this truck seems healthy to me, but seems healthy to me a little bit. I'm not like this truck isn't terrible. Like we did replace some of the importance of that. But yeah, it's one of those things that um I don't trust him, and with him threatening nuclear, and then the generals having to hide the nuclear codes from him. Um, it's not great. You know, I'm afraid that's what's gonna happen is that we're gonna at some point we're all gonna die because of nuclear warfare or some other because of some other warfare um that is not the greatest thing to be utilizing in any shape or form. The nuclear warfare is not great, and of course, what could happen with Japan? You know, and we made that vow to never use it unless we absolutely really have to use it to in any extent. It should never be used or threatened to be used. Um, people should not be losing their lives because of some idiotic man that just wants to waste money, wants to basically destroy life and get rich off of it. Destroy other people's lives so that he can become famous, rich. He can become rich. Um, and that's what's going on right now. Um, and that's not a good thing to be utilizing or be doing through it, because the point of the matter um, of fact is that we shouldn't be. Now we know that it's going to Kobe. I don't know if we can go to Kobe from here. Um, from here, but if we can hit, well, that's where we are going. But if we can hit, um, because right now we're going up to here. So yeah, going to Kobe is going to be the better option, but I don't. That's going to be our best option. So yeah, because that's Because it's going to save us on some time. We'll have to travel a little bit, but it won't be super duper. Um, in that, and we know that we have a check engine light because a lot of it has to do with the transmission and other parts. But I'm hopeful that maybe when we do travel, um, that when we travel to this other place, that yeah, and we do not go up. Remember, we go downward. Um, for it. So there, I hate this map has a lot of Z fighting going on. Um, but our engine, our transmission is the only other one that I need to critically fix right away. So we're gonna hopeful that um, going to get it. Oh, Rolf. Hopefully we go back before that happened. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm speeding. I shouldn't have sped. My bad. But I'm gonna tell you this. What time is it? Yeah. We'll finish this haul later. We might finish this haul soon. Um, I'm gonna take probably a half an hour break. You guys can go take that break as well. And I'll probably hop back on maybe in an hour. At the latest. So and to be honest, if you guys are watching here on YouTube, I know probably YouTube's not gonna like this, but I think that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if I actually am not doing supper tonight. But if I am, then guess what? I will um, come back and end the stream here in a minute. So, and then I'll be back soon. I gotta be. I'll be right back. Alright, I will be right back. Well, maybe 15, 20 minutes.